Review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Virtual Hero, the Digimon, I guess, digital virtual pet. I bought this one off Walmart. It was on sale. I think it was like $15 from original price, which I'm glad I got it on sale. It's taken me so long to review this. So we're gonna go ahead and start with today's review. So right off the box, when you did, I got it from Walmart. The shipment got kind of damaged, but that's fine. What we see on the box really quick right now is it says ages 8 plus, but everybody that I know of is already an adult, so they really do go with that. I know the toy, well, it's considering a toy, but they were marketing more for kids. The commercials itself were aimed more at kids. On the side right here, we have the information. Of course, it says Virtual Hero, Interactive Band, Bracelet, Insert DIM, the rest of the information down here. And this model, or this version, is the Gabumon, the blue version. On the other side, we also have right here more ways, and of course, it gives you a bit more information as to what you're going to be getting, and it's just to download. And of course, you'll be able to use it both with Android and Apple. And in the back, we have all of this. So it gives you kind of a quick rundown as to what you're going to be expecting. And of course, it's by Toei and Bandai. The website, of course, is virtualhero.com, and this series is a digital monster. And the reason this series is because Virtual Bracelet has multiple series. So it's Virtual Hero, but with different iterations. So this one's Digital Monsters. They have one that's Batman, and they have some other ones. So let's go ahead and open it. So out of the box, there's a lot of emptiness. The Japanese version actually seems a bit better compact wise because it doesn't have so much emptiness. It's quite funny that it's a huge spot right here just for that. So let's go and see what else is in the box. In the box, we also have the user manual. So we have that. And removing this part right here reveals, oh, it's stuck, so it goes there. Bottom part is the charger. Interesting though that they didn't switch over to C port. It's regular micro USB. And of course you have your DIM card, which here we have the one that we're going with, the Garudamon version. And of course in the back we have a little, I guess, like background, and of course we have the watch. It already has a little dent here just because I've worn it and I was already using it, so I've already been able to review it. And of course we have the versus memory. So this is kind of what it comes with. Pretty simple, as I mentioned. The Japanese version is a bit more compact, and there's not a lot of emptiness and just bunch of plastic here. But you know, I know the US version tends to kind of advertise, and it wants to showcase a bit more of the information. The manual itself is pretty heavy. Um, there's two languages. I believe the other one is French. Yeah, it's French. So you have the French version, and then you have the American version, or the English version. But even then, I mean, it's still a pretty heavy. Um, it's got 16, 17 pages, and I mean, these things are tiny. You really do need a. I mean, though I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I have good vision, but I actually had to use my phone or a magnifying glass in order to see a lot of these instructions, especially once they start going with smaller things. Like, please note that the mile noted refers to milestone point. You know, there's a bunch of very small um, wordings and so much. It really took me a while to review this complete manual. There was so much reading. I mean, you can see already right there. That's a lot. Good steps. I'm not gonna lie. Good steps. So that's kind of the out the box, and let's go ahead and start the review. All right, so one of the things I wanted to talk about first before we get started with the actual review of it is as soon as you turn it on, now the back part's actually going to have a nice little on and off indicator right here, right next underneath that, the sensor, I'm sorry. And once you switch it, and don't look at the light, so once you switch it on, it'll take a few seconds and it'll tell you or ask you if the time's correct and if you can change it. So in this case, we'll go ahead and modify it here for the proper time. And it'll tell you, okay, sorry for the light. It looks a lot better in person. And then we click there and then we'll put the time. That's not the time, but it's okay. And then of course, here we go. So I already have some time on this device, quite some time. So I actually have the dark version of the black version of Metal Garurumon. So one way to wake him up is, of course, by pushing the two buttons, holding them down, and you wake up. Now, the cloud means that I haven't actually been using him since I was leaving him charging, so he's not in a good mood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a quick mission, and I'll be right back. There we go. So now he's all happy and happy dandy, and there we go. You can see him clearly right there. So let's go ahead and review through some of the menu options, and we're gonna go ahead and just see what they are. So this particular button is not going to be used. The most likely one, or the one that you're going to be using, is the top one for the selecting. So we're going to navigate. So the first one we're going to is a status, and what the status has is basically your life or your point settings right now. So it's going to be that one. Clicking it here doesn't really do anything. It's going to be the top section again. And I'm sorry that the lighting's really bad, because this light, or the ring right here, is supposed to be yellow, and in person it seems pretty darn good. Let me see if I can change. Okay, there we go. So I was able to change the lighting, and let's go ahead and review some of the options. You're going to be using the top section. That's going to be the one to navigate. So by clicking it, you're going to select status, clicking here. In this particular case, nothing happens right there. Oh, there we go. So the ring around here is yellow, and it tells you where you're at. The heart monitor, it really doesn't work. It vaguely tells you an accuracy as to what your heart rate is, but it's not very precise. To reset it, you would push down these two buttons and then just have it on your wrist, and it'll reset. The pedometer setting, you know, I haven't used it. And then clicking it again, it would go back. And then when we click back here again, the Digimon. So these are the Digimons that I've used or I've had in the past. Well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and share with you the current levels that I'm in. There we go. So win 90% and 18 out of 20. And trophies 95. And of course back. So we're going to go ahead and go back to the Digimon. And we're going to click this one right here. So in training, I started off, and then it went to in training part 2, and then to rookie. It went to there you go, champion, and then ultimate, and now mega. So those were the ones, and of course I've had 31 days on it. And clicking back. And the next one here, it's missions. So the very first missions, it's kind of what's considered normal, heart missions, and then special missions, and then adventure missions. The first one, it's more of your daily kind of completion task. So you click on it, and your goal is to win 8 battles, right? The next one is heart mission, and this is more of doing these things will help you increase or complete these tasks, and you'll be able to do it. The only downside is that you can only do the crunch once a day,
And then from here on, once you finish this one, I think it's like punching and then jogging. The one I did earlier right now was squats. Uh, so let me go ahead and go back. Oh, sorry. Go back to the mission. So the special mission, it's not really a special mission. It's basically you would have to. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to the missions. So there you go. So in special mission, you would need to connect this to the app, and it'll let you know what the special mission is as well. You can confirm right here, and it'll tell you connect to the app. The next one right here, it's going to be the adventure mission. This one's more of just walk around all day long to complete it. So right here, it's goals. There's 15 stages, and you just turn it on and just continue walking from there. You can continue navigating the different stages or go where you want to go. Here's the downside about the menu option is that there's no way to get out of here. You have to, if you accidentally clicked on here, you have to press the confirm button and it's off to the races. And I'm glad that we're on this setting right now, because when you're on this setting, you really cannot do anything. All the controls and options are basically out of there. There's nothing there. All you're doing is basically walking around, and you got to complete 1,500 steps. That's it. That's your adventure mission. To get out of here, you press down the two sections, or I'm sorry, the holding down and then stop. And then once it stops, you're able to come back and do everything else as if you were normally doing. The only thing about stopping the special mission is that it didn't complete. So even if you had 1,498 and you accidentally stop it, or you stop it, it goes out the window, so it doesn't save. Storage, this is basically used for when you're going to be storing the Digimon. This is going to be more for backups, transfers, or battles. And the app log as well. And then the settings. And settings, you do have time, you have the background. It offers you just 4 different settings, so we'll use that one. And then the lighting and sound. So right now there's no sound, but clicking it on here, and there you go. And we're gonna turn it off. And this one, if I'm not mistaken, is deleting the Digimon. I have to check again and going back. And that's mainly all the options you have there. So here's my personal perspective on it. When this first came out, it was worth about $60. I bought this on Amazon for about $13. And to tell you the truth, I don't think I would, if I were to go back in time and buy this, I would have returned it for the money. I wouldn't pay more than $10 for this. 15, max $20. And the reason for it is it doesn't really do much. It doesn't. It's a cross between the regular Digivice and which is the pedometer one, the D3, and a like Tamagotchi type of Digivice. Thing here is a merge, and it does neither of them. You do walk around, which is great. You know, it takes your steps. It sees how long you've been running and walking and stuff like that. Downside is you don't really do anything with that. It would have been nice if you went on missions, if you basically encountered monsters as you walked, maybe every 1,000 steps or something to keep you, motivated. And maybe when you completed a special mission or something, you'd fight somebody or something. There's none of that. You don't really take care of a Digimon. You don't give it food or anything. It's just there. That's it. I mean, yeah, that's the only downside. Here's the biggest downside that I didn't like was the Connect app. My phone doesn't have an NSF reader, so there's no way to use the options here. You can connect it to the app, but the thing is, you need an NSF reader to connect it to the app. So the half of the features here basically go out the window. If you don't have the app, oh yeah, and you have to have it here, or it has to take a pause, because then it doesn't like that. But you have to have the app in order to fully use it. And in this case, if I don't have the app, well, I'm only using part of it, and part of it is basically just the device. Now, don't get me started on the app. The app is horrible. Those that have been using it, I mean, online or the Google store, it has like a 2.1, and it doesn't do what it's supposed to be doing. It takes forever. You can't find anybody to battle, which apparently that was a whole instance of it, that you can battle online with people all over the place. I've seen remarks saying that they lost their Digimon, or the Digimon's locked on the app and they can't transfer it back. I mean, just it's a hideous application. Bandai, why? Aside from this, if I want to actually battle or against something, I have to go to a vending machine, and I have to make sure that the vending machine has the darn NSF card reader in order to actually use the Digivice or the device itself. So if it doesn't do anything and it has all this technology, well, what exactly does it do? Does it help with the exercise? I bought it to help me stay active since I'm basically sitting all day. So I want to have something to kind of motivate me. Does it? I mean, not really, not any more than I would have expected or thought that it was gonna do. I thought it was gonna help me, like, oh hey, I gotta keep moving around, or if not, the Digimon's gonna die, or I gotta do these missions in order to fight and go to the next level. It doesn't do any of that. And in the missions, what it does do is, for example, the hard missions, right, crunches, 30 seconds. It doesn't differentiate between an actual walk, a hand to hand, a shake, or anything. Because check this out, I can actually just move around the device, and it actually still thinks I'm doing something. So I'm moving it around, and just shaking, 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 shaking. And this whole time, I mean, I don't even have to be doing crunches. See, I don't have to necessarily be doing crunches. The thing works as a pedometer style thing, so it'll just think I'm moving around, and the machine thinks I'm doing crunches, when in reality I'm not. See, clear mission. So I've done it where I'm going to the restroom and I just put on, oh, I'm going to do a crunch, and that's it. And same thing with all the other missions. You basically just gain more points, and right now I'm at 9,999. But what do I do with that? When you battle, you get more points, right? When you lose a battle, you lose points. Okay, well, that's not bad. Okay, I guess there's some incentive there, like, oh, I have to keep moving or anything. But the downside is that if there's nothing else that you can do with a device, well, then what can you do? The battery itself apparently takes up to 4 hours to charge, and it has lasted me about 2 days, maybe 3 days. And the 2 days, it's already, I mean, right now I fully charged it hours ago, and who knows how long that's gonna last, because it's lasted me about an hour and a half, I mean a day and a half. So I'm not sure. My actual device itself came with a button that was pushed in, and that was new. So I'm not sure if that's how all of them come in, but this one was raised and this one was pushed in. So when I'm putting the Digimon to sleep, for instance, oh yeah, and the menus are tedious in the sense that once you click on one of them, there's no back button or anything. To go to sleep, you have to push both buttons down. And here's the downside. Trying to push down both buttons sometimes doesn't recognize it. Okay, so sleeping. Then he goes to sleep, right? To wake him up, you push it down. Here's the only downside. That actually went out really nice. A lot of times when I'm trying to do this, the button won't go lower since it's already dipped in, and it keeps just pushing the app. So I have to always figure out how the heck I'm going to do it. The other downside is this thing. If you lose this thing, this is basically the cover for the little USB DIMM memory card that comes in. I mean, you have to make sure you don't lose it, because dirt's going to fill in, then it's going to corrode it. This one at least has a nice little cover, but it feels like it's going to fall off eventually. The backside, of course, it's got the lighting. The rubber band strip, I mean, it's good. The one downside I don't like is that this there's been so many times where I'm walking around and I accidentally, nudge the door and it just pops right out. I'm afraid that after a while, this is where I'm mostly always in, that either this part's gonna tear, or this is gonna fall off. I'm not sure. Either one of those things, and then either I have to use it on a different setting, but the setting that I have it on is the setting that I like. The device isn't waterproof. I've used it to wash my hands, do normal activities. I always just have to be very cautious that the water doesn't land in it. I've had water splash on it, and it seems to be okay as long as water doesn't go into it. That's my rant on the Vital bracelet. I really wish I would have loved it. It's it's a good idea. I just wish they would have done so much more with it. It has so much potential. For example, it already has an NSF reader, right? I can't remember if it's on the inside here on the top section. Yeah, because you have to have it connected over here. Um, they could have just done it where you know you don't need this part particular right here to battle with somebody, because when you battle you have to put in your dim card, uh, export the Digimon, put it in here, go to someone else, put theirs in here, and put it in. Who has time for that, right? Who has time for that? What they should have done, if it already has the NSF reader, they should have just done it where you bump up with another one and they automatically transfer the data and indicate that, there's another Digimon there. Or just have the port connections, kind of like the D3. Have them somewhere here, Or if it already has a USB cable, maybe just connect them together and have them battle. But the option that I would have preferred is NSF reader here. That way, if you do encounter another Digivice or Vital Bracelet, you just hold them nearby and they recognize. That's what I would have liked. I won't go into much detail about the actual battling, because there's a lot of videos on that too. I'll upload some links into it. I'll upload also some additional videos regarding the teardown and everything else. It's kind of a chunky thing. It's almost about an inch thick, and it's almost about 2 inches long. The screen itself is small, so that's the other thing. It's nice, but it's not as big as it would have been useful in a sense. Um, the device, I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy it. I just don't enjoy it as much as I wish I would have enjoyed it. That's my thing. The menus aren't that great. You can't do anything. There's no in games in here either, compared to the Digivice, compared to even the pet, the virtual pets. They have some type of entertainment in here. This one doesn't do anything. So if it's a standalone, it's basically a standalone itself. It doesn't have games in here. It doesn't have training to train the Digimon. It would have been great if it had another button, or the same button here can be used for in games or something like that. But that's that's my review on the Vital bracelet. Um, would I recommend it? Not really. Not really. It's a nice toy, and I'll use the word toy, which I don't usually like to use it because it's, a novelty device, but it's a nice toy. Um, I wish that Bandai would have paid more attention to their fans in terms of more of the, dare I say, the adult, the adult age group, to give them, give us something more useful, something cool to use. This seems more of just a toy itself with high tech into it. But that's it. It doesn't have any additional things that would be useful. If it was a training thing, make it a training thing. Actually have more of a useful impact in terms of training, using it for walking, for running, things like that. Have some kind of reward for reaching certain things. Battling, maybe you need a walk of 1,000 steps before you can defeat, the boss or something. Some type of, reason to use it and to want to keep using it daily. That's my biggest thing. Aside from that, if you want to buy it, you can get it. They're on Amazon. They're about $15-$20 right now. This one I got it for $13. I think Walmart had the red one. But yeah, I mean, if you're in the market to just have it for a collection, you're more than welcome to get it. Would I recommend it? Not really. I mean, Like I said, it's nice that it keeps the time. Uh, so it's a digital time, and of course it's military, which you can change. So if you don't know military, um, too bad. That's what Bandai says. But yeah, so hope you all enjoyed today's review. Lots of love and kisses, and I'll see you next time.